We are now on patch 13.24b, and here is the new tier list on headliners for the current patch. We're gonna be on this patch for about a month, so this might be very useful for some of you guys who wants to climb. Starting out by the 1-cost units. So the best one in the current patch is Annie. Are you getting a headliner Annie from either of the traits and also having a few other Annie units on your bench? Nobody else is playing Annie, you can go for her. She is by far the best one that can carry you all the way to the late game. And are you in a similar position with Yasuo or Jinx, you could also go for either of them. But Annie is way stronger, and you also kind of have naturally to get more of these two units if you want to play them. If you go for Yasuo, you can go for the true damage, and are you going for Jinx, you can go for either of them. These three units can be kind of build-ups into specific comps. Tamkench if you go for country, and Taric and Nami if you want to go for the disco comp. K'Sante will only be useful if you go for the hard one, and here you're just gonna play for hard comp and just get a lot of economy and get strong and get fast to the late game. If you're choosing any of these three units, it has to kind of be for build up or snowballing your strong board. So the real one here is Annie, and everyone else is just kind of build up or specific comps that you are going for. And now the 2-cost units. So in the current patch, Jax, Katarina and Senna is all super good units as a headliner. When you pick Senna, you can go for both of them, and that is also one of the reasons why she is so strong. The same goes for Jax, so these two units is just more or less auto pick if you have the chance. Katarina can only be used as a crowd diver. The country one is really bad, so you're never gonna go for that one. So these 5 options is what you have. There is also an maybe upcoming comp with Gnar as the headliner, but I'm not gonna go into that because I haven't really played it. Aphelios in the same position as K'Sante. Are you getting the one with heart? You can start playing around hearts and having a lot of economy and go for a late game faster. All of these units as headliners I don't really pick, and I basically just skip these. Do I find myself in a position at around level 5 or 6 where I'm looking for a headliner? These 3 and Aphelios is the only one that I'm looking for. If we're playing the Jax one, we are going to play around his 2 traits. Are we playing for Senna? We're gonna play for true damage and having at least one more rapid fire if we're picking the true damage one. Are we going for Katarina? We're just gonna go full on in on crowd diver. And we also want to have all of these 3 units to 3-star. And the same goes for Annie, Jinx, and Yasuo if you're picking one of these 3. As soon as you're getting your unit to 3-star, you will start go up in levels. Headliners that are 3-cost units. The best one in the current patch is gonna be Yon with either of his traits. The best one is probably Crowd Diver. Then you can also play around Edgelord. And there is also, again, the option where you're playing around Hearts with the hard one. Samira, you always want to have the country. You can also play around Executioner, but country is by far the best one. There is a few ones with Riven where you're going for 8-bit and playing around 4 8-bits. Mordekaiser, you always want the pentakill, and Lux can also be played as a reroll comp as the other can, and you can choose either of them here as well. But Yone is by far the best one. Samira is just behind, and then you can play for either of these 3. Are we playing Yone? We're gonna play for Crowd Diver and all 6 of them. Edgelord version I've already told about in my tier list. Samira is the country one, playing around full 5 countries and having a few other units in for extra in Executioner, for example. Are we playing Mordekaiser? We're gonna play for the pentakill one and having him to 3-star and then just go up in levels and get 7 in pentakills. Riven is about getting both of these traits active, and when you come to Lux, we are going for full up in EDM and having a few extra units that are Dazzlers. All of these units can be played as well as like a mid-game units, but I'm not really playing them anymore. MF could be used as a Jazz, and Urgot is also viable if you're going for country. It's just not something that I'm looking for that much. Are we specifically going for country? You are just looking for one of these 3 traits. You will go for country, or executioner. When it comes to 4-cost units, what we are looking for here is basically whatever trait or comp that we are playing. So from the start, if we're going for Viego, we are probably gonna take Pentakill. Are we in a situation where we can get set? We will play for Crowd Diver and makes us get 6 in the Crowd Diver trait. Akali can be played as both of the traits in either of these. It just depends on what comp jet you're playing. Are we playing the true damage one? We could go for this one. Are we playing the KDA? We could go for this one, but else either of them is good. Ari can also be played in both of them. Then we are obviously playing around Ari and having her traits active. If we're picking Blitz, we want to have the Disco one. I'm playing the Disco board, and that means we have to look for him. Meanwhile, we are looking for Twisted Fate. Are we playing the Disco one? We are playing for Disco or Dazzler. Ezreal is the same situation as the other headliners that are hearts, but you can also play him as the main carry if you are already building up, and then you can play for the big shot and get to a fast level 9 or 10 board. Karthus is the same similar situation. Are we getting him as the pentakill? We are going to play around 7 in pentakills. And are we picking Viego? We obviously also are going for pentakill. These 4 guys I'm not really picking at all, especially not Zac, Thresh, and Poppy. There is a few comps with Caitlyn, but that's not something I really want to go into. When it comes to 5 cost units as headliners, we can be lucky to get them at level 9, but else we just have a way bigger chance at level 10. All of these units is super strong, so if you're getting any of these at level 9, you should probably pick it and itemize it and play around that unit. If we get to level 10, we will just pick up whatever we feel like and have items for. All of the units is super strong and are the ones that are performing the best, and that is obviously something to do with you are getting yourself to level 10, and that means you already are secured top 4. If you have any questions about any of these comps or headliners, you can just leave a comment, and you can also check out my tier list, which I have been going over all of the strongest comp in the current patch. This was a kind of a new one. Let me know if you like this kind of video or you just want to stick to the top 5 and tier list comps that I normally do. If you want to see some more specific comps with a full guide on one specific comp, you can check out my channel, and else thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next guide.